Hi everyone, welcome back. Again, this is Ryan Love with Unified Fire Authority out here in Magna, Utah, bringing you week number 2 of recruit camp for class number 53. We've got a great video for you this week. Let's get to it.
Today you're going to go over building construction with Chief Rhodes. Building construction is a huge piece, okay? This is something that is very, very, very important. We will teach you fire behavior. We will teach you all those things. But we also need to be students of building construction. I want you to pay attention. I want you to ask questions, okay? You need to learn this stuff. You need to continue learning this stuff. After this, keep up on your building construction. Understood?
Yes, sir!
Fall out to the classroom.
Class 53, fall out! Last. Last.
Hi, my name is Micah Stratton. I'm a paramedic with Unified Fire Authority. I had the task of teaching the recruits about their personal protective equipment, which consisted of a lecture portion and some PowerPoint. And this week, finally, we've actually gotten out and gotten into the gear. So what we learned in the classroom was the different materials that the protective gear is made out of, specifically the turnout jacket, the 3 layers. It looks like there's only 2, but this inner layer functions as both air trapping, like a thermal layer to keep heat in, as well as a moisture barrier, so that all of your sweat and products of work aren't heated up by the outside environment. And then covered by a really thick and tough Nomex exterior. And we also have our turnout pants that have the same makeup. So after orienting the recruits to some of the hard facts and numbers of the turnouts, like temperatures that they might start failing at, and then temperatures of conditions we might be wearing them in, we've been practicing now putting the turnouts on for time. So the expectation is that the recruit will be able to put all of their personal protective equipment on, their boots, turnout pants, coat, helmet, as well as their gloves in 45 seconds, have it all on correctly, which includes no gaps showing skin, and zippers coupled correctly, all the Velcro being done, and ready to go to work on a fire in that 45 seconds. So as they're working on getting their times better, they know this is something that they're going to be held to that standard throughout the entire camp. So it's not just today or this week, but for the duration while they're here, 45 seconds is the expectation. And as they're getting comfortable also using their air packs and their face masks. Tomorrow will be the first day that we take them into a live burn. We've had a building construction lecture from Chief Rhodes this morning, and we're going to be taking a look at the difference between conventional construction floor joists and modern lightweight construction floor joists. So it'll be a great opportunity for the recruits to synthesize their building construction lecture that they've had today, as well as all the practice that they've had with their PPE, and bringing it into a live fire environment for the first time.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Flare mover. Turn them on. Turn them on all the way. And your hips. Grab your sides and tighten those up. When you're ready, crank those down onto your shoulders.
Hello, I'm Jay Honey with Unified Fire Authority. Today we have all the new recruits out here at our tower doing brand new introductions to SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. The SCBA is vital to what we do as firefighters in protecting us from breathing harmful gases, fumes, all the off gases, anything that fire creates that's detrimental to your respiratory system. So today we're covering the new introduction to these packs with these students and showing them how they work, how they function, and how imperative they are to their safety on the fire scene. The main components to this pack are that it gets turned on. It has a very complex system in it, computer aided, to give us really great readings. Once we turn this on, we can tell temperatures of the fire and the environment we're in. It gives us a readout of how many pounds of air we have, and you can surmise how long that'll last in a fire based on, once again, your exertion level. This will give us warnings, advanced warning systems of when that air is going out. There's some rudimentary systems, such as a good old-fashioned bell. This will ding when the air gets below a certain point, and warn us that we're about out of air in case the electronics and the gauges all fail. But we have some analog gauges too that are far less likely to fail. But in this complex system that I mentioned before, it also gives us the ability to have communications. So in this pack, we'll comm with our mouth through this face piece, and it will actually communicate to our radios through Bluetooth, so we can communicate on the fire ground, so people can understand what we're saying, and we don't actually have to lift up a radio to our mouth. So it's very imperative to what we do on the fire scene and fire ground, especially here at training and out in the real world.
All right, I want everybody to pay attention when you take that mask off. Tell me how good that feels to your everything.
Everything's
Right?
Yes, sir.
That's what we're always trying to get to. Not only us, but everybody else that we're going to say. This is a wonderful thing to be breathing right now, right? Don't take it for granted.
Yes,
Because
sir.
it sucks in there. Yes, sir. Hi, my name's Captain Dinkle. Today is, I believe, day 5 in recruit camp. Today was a building construction lecture, and we had a lecture this morning in the classroom, kind of taught them about building construction, how homes are built, residences are built, and things like that. And then we decided that we would bring them out here this afternoon, and we did some mock-up floors out of basically residential materials. So we did a conventional build so what we had kind of in the 70s and 80s, and then we built one that is basically built with in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 20s, right? We've got the OSB gusset plates, things like that. So we put those floors in there, we mocked those up, and then up underneath we put some Excelsior and lit both of those fires at the same time. And then we kind of showed the recruits inside what it looked like as far as how both of those floors will hold up to the modern fire environment. And it was pretty good for them to see that today's construction doesn't hold up very well. And I think right now, if we took a look in there, I believe it's still standing. Actually, I think it just fell down. So we've probably been burning now for about 25, 30 minutes, and that just fell down, and the other one is complete into ash. So it was good for them to see. It also simulated the heat that they are going to experience here in camp and in operations when they get out into the modern fire environment. So I think for them, a lot of them were big, wide-eyed. They didn't realize how hot it could be and how fast things can change in a hurry. We had really good visibility. There was a little bit of smoke, but it was good. We walked each company through, kind of showed them the progression of those floors and how they burned out from the start, the middle, and then the end. So that's kind of where we ended up today with that.
Hey, this is Sean Garrett, training specialist here out at UFA's training tower. We got recruit class 53 working on hose management skills, tack line deployment. You can see them behind me. The things that we're working on is deploying the attack line to the objective and then calling for water and then making their way from the access point being the front door up into the upstairs bedroom in a timely manner. For a lot of our recruits, this is the first time that they've had their hands on any of this. So they're finding out that it's very physical, very demanding, and fighting through the different challenges that it takes to manage the hose through the building. Once we get a few reps in, we show them a few tips and tricks as far as hose management goes, spatial awareness, and it hopefully will lead to them appreciating how hard it can be and the tips and tricks that we'll teach them out here for recruit class. You see over here we have a couple slosh pipes that we fill full of water. And we also have them, as teams of 2, maneuver these pipes through the building, and if at any time a recruit touches a wall with the pipes, then they have to start over. Similar to a video game that they're probably all familiar with playing. So it's been really good so far. The recruits are working their butts off. We're about 1.5 weeks into it. They're tired, they're dragging ass. You can tell that the PT sessions are catching up to them. But this is what it's all about. It doesn't matter how tired you are, they have to get in there and they have to perform. And we're seeing progress through each and every rep that we see them deploy these attack lines.
Hey, Chad Pate here with Unified Fire, Recruit Class 53. We're out here today doing Endless Hose Day. The recruits are out pulling every inch of hose off of our engine. They're making sure that they're familiar with the way that they're deployed, and they're also familiarizing themselves with how much hose that we carry on the engine and realizing how far it may stretch. We've had them pull off all the large diameter hose, which we have 1,000 feet of. So we've had them pull that off, and it can't even get to the road without having to pull more off. It's eye-opening for them to see how far they can actually get from a hydrant to the fire, but also some of their limitations that if they have a long lay that they have, or a forward lay that they're making, identifying when I'm almost out of hose. They've also been they pulled 400 feet of 3-inch, and they pulled 200 feet of a tack line 2.5-inch, which gassed them. It's great to see that they're putting in the effort, but they're also familiarizing themselves with Minutemans, with single loop folds, and then to top it off, we're taking all our cross lays off as well. 200 feet of 1 3/4. They're pulling double loops, they're pulling single loops, they're hose flipping, they're doing shoulder loads. They're getting it all off the engine. 1, to familiarize themselves with deployments, but then also 2, to get themselves aware of what that hose is, how far they can get, like I said, and to more than anything, give them a little appreciation for the amount of equipment that they actually do carry on these engines. We're gonna keep doing this today. We're doing this multiple times. We've got 4 engines out here. You do the math, it's a lot of hose. And so they're gonna, by the time the day's over, sun will be down, and they're gonna be exhausted. But this is the appreciation they will have for engine work and the amount of effort it takes to get all this hose off the engine.
Thanks for watching. That concludes our video for week number 2 out here in Magna, Utah with recruit class number 53. Last week after we dropped our first video, we received great feedback, and we like to invite you to leave comments below with any suggestions or any questions regarding this recruit camp process. But essentially, we want to bring you the content that you want to see. So be sure to leave comments below with suggestions, and we'd love to get back to you. Until next time, this is Ryan Love with Unified Fire.